To ask you to applaud our speaker number 7.
Woo!
Silin, give up. Give up. Max Silin.
26 years ago, a car was driving along the streets. Inside, there were a man and a 5-year-old boy. The man was talking out loud. I can't stand it any longer. I can't live under the same roof with your mother. I'm leaving you, son. I give up. While the man seemed to be talking to his son, I don't think he was really expecting the boy to react in any way. In the meantime, the boy was sitting at the back of the car looking out of the window. Tears were running down his cheeks. The boy was crying quietly. His father's words left such a deep impression on the boy's mind that on that very day, unconsciously, he had decided that he would never give up. Mr. Conference Chair, dear judges and fellow Toastmasters, you must have guessed by now that the boy I just told you about is the same person who is standing in front of you right now. The same person, yet a different character. I've been through many adventures in my life since then. I have lived in 4 different cities across 3 countries on 2 continents. I have changed my career by 180 degrees twice. And believe it or not, I had to give up many times. And every time I would have to do that, it would leave me with this deep, deep scar on my heart. That's how painful it was, every time. Until once I realized that it is okay to give up. There is a scientific research that proves whenever we put a bar too high, or when we set a goal without having a proper motivation for it in the first place, not only we expose ourselves to a huge amount of stress, but we also put ourselves at risk of falling into a deep depression. I'll give you an example from my personal life. Raise your hand if any of you have ever tried to play a musical instrument. Okay, many of you. Now, keep your hand up if you have failed at it. Oh, I've been there. I've done that. A while back, I decided to learn to play a guitar. Why? Beats me, I have no clue. I had no aspiration to music whatsoever. And yet, I set that goal for myself. Not only was it stressful every time I had to practice guitar, but over time I started noticing that I was getting depressed because of not succeeding at it. Especially as I was watching my younger brother, who was learning to play guitar at the same time, getting better and better about it, because he was really aspired to that thing. And one day I told myself, hey, I don't want to get stressed about something that I do not care about. So I gave up. And it gave me such a huge relief. Unfortunately, our life is not as simple of whether to play a guitar or not to play a guitar. Oftentimes, it's more of a question of whether to be or not to be. And unfortunately, not so long ago, I had a situation like that in my life. To cut the long story short, my ex-wife and I had a long-lasting story. We had been together, then we broke up, then we got back together over long distance, and we broke up again, and finally we reunited. By that time, she has had a child already. When we got married, I adopted her son. But unfortunately, after we had started living together, I realized that the same issues that had kept us apart in the past were still in place. We were failing to find common ground. We were on different waves, so to say. I wanted to sleep, she wanted to run. I wanted to watch a comedy show, she wanted to go to a theater. I was a man, she was a woman, what a surprise! But, of course, I'm joking now. The issues we had in our relationship were much, much deeper than that. In fact, so deep that at some point I had to face a dilemma. Whether I wanted to keep that innocent boy, my son, exposed to the daily hustle, quarrels, and craziness of that relationship, or maybe follow an example of my own father. Give up and leave. What would you do? This is a rhetorical question, There's no right or wrong answer. And I hope that none of you ever has to face a question like that. And hey, I'm not trying to be a hero. I gave up. Some of you may blame me because of that, but I tell you what, I gave up on a relationship that was set for failure. I gave up on a person who's been trying to take advantage of me. However, I haven't given up on the little boy, my son, who's been giving me his pure, sincere love. I still support him, and I wish him best of luck. All in all, I urge you all today to give up on anything that you aren't aspired to. Have this job that hasn't been giving me a sense of fulfillment for years and years? Give up on it. Give up on people who do not care about you, people who take you for granted. However, give up not on those who have good faith in you. Give up not on people who truly love you. I mean your children, your parents, your true, I mean it, true friends. Give up not on things that inspire you, activities that keep your juices flowing. Give up not on your inner self. And in conclusion, I would like to quote famous American actor Will Smith, who once said, "Do your thing, work hard, and the right people will follow."